ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। Welcome you all for today's class of Vedam Diksha course. Today we are going to cover practicing Krishna consciousness in Grihastha life. That is this topic based on teachings of Krishna Prabhupada. So, most of us, we are Grihasthas. Some of them may be unmarried, sadhika girls. And that is Srila Prabhupada's great benedictions on all of us. Otherwise, before ISKCON, there was Gaudiya Math. And Gaudiya Math mainly you will find brahmacharis and sannyasis. Very rarely you will see some grihasthas during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He made many sannyasis and many brahmacharis who used to live in the matha. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's preaching was mostly for creating brahmacharis and sannyasis. Very few number of grihasthas were there. One of them was Srila Prabhupada also, who also got initiated when he was still a grihastha. But when Prabhupada started his movement of ISKCON, and when he went to the United States, then the culture was different. And there was pre-mixing of boys and girls. And but they were interested in spiritual life. Many people started following Prabhupada and following his instructions. Then he got them married. Those who were just living like boys and girls and like that. So he got them married. And under Prabhupada's instructions, following his instructions, they did a lot of service also. And Prabhupada also remarked that he created temples where his Guru Maharaj had created matha, which was mainly meant for sannyasis. But I have created temples where the grihasthas, they also can practice Krishna consciousness. So it is a great benediction on us, Srila Prabhupada, that along with our worldly duties, still we can progress in spiritual life. And as grihasthas, all of us also can attain perfection and go back to the spiritual world. It is not only that somebody who is a sannyasi or brahmachari, they can go back to Godhead. Although Prabhupada also said that 50% chance is reduced of grihasthas. But if we are serious and sincere, we also can attain perfection. In one life, we also can go back to Godhead. So for that, Prabhupada has given a program also, how we should live our life. And fundamentally, this is also the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the 10th canto, Brahma's prayers, the Brahma Vimohana Lila, where Brahma had stolen Krishna's friends and other calves and cows. Brahma had stolen. So then again, he comes to his senses and begs forgiveness from Krishna, and then he offers prayers. And there, one of the prayer what he offers was Sthane Sthita Shrutigatam Tanuva Panobhir. So Sthane Sthita, one can remain in his own position. Generally, the Vedic system, it is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. So Sthanesthita means one can remain whatever position. If it is a Brahmana, you can remain Brahmana. If it is a Grihastha, you can remain Grihastha. Kshatriya, you can remain Kshatriya. It doesn't matter that one has to change one's position, and then only one can get liberation. So Sthane Sthita Shrutigata Tanuvan Yam Prayasho Ajita Chitopyasi Taistri. So one has to become humble. That is the qualification. And render service here from the mouth of self-realized souls, actual Prabhupada. Shrutigata means one has to hear the message of Krishna from the mouth of self-realized souls. And being so situated, one can attain perfection. Ajita Jitopi Asita is Trilokya. Ajita, Krishna's one more name is Ajita. Ajita means he is unconquerable. So, Krishna, who is unconquerable, even he can be conquered by such devotees who, being situated in their own position, being humble, and hear from the self-realized souls, and apply those things in their life. And even in Bhagavad Gita also, you see, the third chapter also, Krishna says, just by accepting sannyas does not mean that one has attained perfection. The third chapter, you see, Krishna describes. Real thing is giving up desire for sense gratification, desire for enjoying the fruits of our action. That is the main thing. Change of dress is not the criteria. One may be a sannyasi, outwardly showing. We see so many people, they take it as a profession of begging also. In India, you see so many people, beggars, sometimes they will wear saffron cloth. Because traditionally, a sannyasi means people will give them something to them. Because they don't have the family grihasthas, they are supposed to maintain the brahmacharis and sannyasis. That was the Vedic system. So brahmacharis are not working, sannyasis are also not working. Grihasthas are working. And they will maintain these both classes. And these two, they are engaged in advancement of spiritual life. And the brahmacharis at a later stage, they may become grihasthas or they may continue to remain brahmacharis. But the grihasthas would maintain the brahmacharis and sannyasis. And their needs also were not so much. And they used to live simply in huts or something, and they will go begging. And the purpose of going begging also to enlighten the householders who are busy in the worldly life. So the original teaching of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam also, that it does not matter what is our position, whatever may be our position. That is because the devotional service is so potent, it's so powerful. Even amidst a lot of sense objects, one can make progress. The brahmacharis and sannyasis means they are away from the sense objects. The grihastha means he is surrounded by sense objects. Nice thing to eat, family members, society, social gratification, all those things are there. But still, if one is strong, if one is serious in following the principles of bhakti, still he can be aloof from all these sense objects and make rapid progress in spiritual life. And there are many examples of great devotees also. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna gives example of Janak Maharaj and others. The third chapter itself, following his principle, even they attain perfection. And we have a lot of acharyas also. Many of the acharyas, they were householders. Best example is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he was a householder. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was also a householder. He was a Kshatriya. And many great kings are there. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, and many other kings were there who were practicing Krishna consciousness, being in the household life. So for the modern times, for the Kali Yuga, Prabhupada has given us a program, what we are supposed to follow. And by doing that, we can make a steady progress and attain perfection. So that we will see through Prabhupada's quotes, Prabhupada's letters. We'll go through some of those things. So we should have a fixed morning sadhana schedule. Prabhupada has already given us every day getting up for Mangalarati, then chanting our rounds. In the temple, the system is we have Darshanarti, then Guru Puja, then offering, then Sankirtan, then Prasadam, Bhagavatam class, then Prasadam. So in the temple, this elaborate program is possible. Almost from morning 4:30 to 9:30, it's fully packed. 4 hours of morning program. So that is possible for the devotees, brahmacharis who are staying in the temple. But those who are staying outside, we should have at least basic minimum program every day in the morning. So from the temple, we have made a system that, if possible, they should do arati in the morning. And because of our work and other things, we may have a lot of responsibilities. Kids are there, we have to send them to school, or I have to go to office, my time is not matching. If there are such practical challenges, so at least we should sing Gurvashtakam, Narsimha Kirtan, Tulsi Kirtan every day. So that is must we should follow. Ideal thing would be to do the Aarti morning. If you are not able to do, at least we should sing this Gurvashtakam song and Narsimha and Tulsi Kirtan. This is must. And in a day, at least we should do one Aarti in our house. Minimum one Aarti. If you can do more, it's good. But minimum one Aarti should happen in our house, either morning or evening. And we should try to do together, family members, these activities. And so that is a fixed morning schedule, chanting and kirtan, chanting of 16 rounds. And we should also try to avoid these 10 offenses in the chanting. The 10 offenses are there. Every day we read in the temple after Mangalarati. So we should be careful and conscious of these things and try to avoid these offenses, 10 offenses. Out of that, most of the things, generally we don't commit demigod worship, we don't do, we know the position of Krishna and the demigods. Sinful activities we have given up. And we have clear understanding of various scriptures, all those things. But still, it is like every day we should read those 10 offenses and be mindful of those things, because over a period of time we will become familiar and may forget some of those things. But one offense is there, the 10th offense, that is inattentive chanting. So that is very hard to overcome. And after years practice also, our mind keeps wandering here and there while chanting. So for that, Madhu Pandit Prabhu has made modules of Japa. If we follow that, we may overcome that offense also, but it's a lifelong practice. We can never say that today I'm perfected and now onwards it's all. Always the mind is there to drag us away from Krishna consciousness as long as we are there in this metal world. So we should always alert and keep practicing this chanting without committing offenses. And following the 4 regulatory principles, very important. We'll be taking the oath at the time of initiation. So we should strictly follow the 4 regulatory principles. And applying tilak on 12 parts of the body every day. And setting up the altar and daily worship. So minimum 1 aarti and 1 offering. 1 aarti and 1 offering that we should do. Especially if you are initiated, at least 1 aarti and 1 offering is must. And because anyway we have to eat, and we cannot eat anything which is not prasada. So we have to offer. And offering and offering prasada. And regularly reading of Srila Prabhupada's books. So this also sometimes gets neglected. Reading. So that also we should not neglect this reading. Every day we should spend some time. So reading means we are associating with Prabhupada. And not only that, we are also associating, suppose you are reading Bhagavatam, we are associating with all the devotees who are there in the Bhagavatam. It is like we are hearing them. Suppose Kunti Maharani's prayers, if you are reading, then you are hearing Kunti Maharani speaking. What is her consciousness? How does she feel? What she thinks? How she takes things? We also come across a lot of things in our life. Kunti Maharani, how she is taking the miseries. She is telling, let there be more miseries so that I can remember Krishna. So what is their outlook of life? How they see things? How they see reversals? So all those things we can associate with them. And then through Prabhupada's purports, we can understand what they are telling, what is their, and automatically it gets absorbed. Regularly, we are in touch with Prabhupada on his teachings and Bhagavatam. Then, without our knowledge, automatically those qualities will come into us. So, automatically we'll become devotees. We will also develop consciousness like them. And when situations come, we can also try to apply their teachings and how they take things. So, it's very important we have to read Srila Prabhupada's books every day. And observing Ekadashi and other fasts that also we should follow. Because human life is meant for austerities, tapasya. And Prabhupada has not given us very severe austerities. Otherwise, the austerities which are described in the scriptures, which different yoga systems they follow, they are very, very severe austerities. But for us, Prabhupada has given simple austerities, not very difficult austerities. For us, Prabhupada has given follow 4 regulatory principles. Get up early in the morning and fasting on certain days. These are the only 3 austerities for us. Other than that, our process is always joyful, happily performed. So sukham kartum, Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita. Chanting, dancing, eating nice prasada, going on pilgrimages. So our process is all blissful. Only austerities is 3 things. Get up early in the morning. Fasting on certain days. That to Ekadashi, we are allowed to eat all 3 times. Not full fasting also. That relaxation is also there. No need to fully fast also. Okay, you eat nicely, whatever, but don't eat grains. That's all. Very simple austerities. On some other days, we fast till evening, just like now. Narasimha, Chaturdashi is coming. There are only hardly, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 days, probably. Narasimha Jayanti, Gaur Purnima, Ram Navami, Janmashtami, Vaikunth Ekadashi. Only 5 days are there, where full fasting is there. And sometimes Vaikunth Ekadashi, Janmashtami, because we have to do service 3 times also we eat. So that way, hardly there are any austerities. And austerities are very important. Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita, Yajna Dana Tapa, one should never give up. Pavanali, even those who are pure, it purifies even them also. This sacrifice, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be given up. It should be always, we have to always practice. And what is our yajna? Our yajna is Sankirtan yajna, chanting. And austerities are very simple as austerities. And we should do charities also, especially Grihasthas. We should do charity because we are earning money. So we should spend it for Krishna's service. So this should never be given up. Always we should keep aside some of our income for spreading Krishna consciousness. And serving the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Now, because we are householders, we are family members, and only brahmacharis and sannyasis, they are meant for preaching. That is not the mood. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, everybody is a preacher. Everybody is a preacher. We should always look for opportunity where I can do some service. So preaching can be active service, where actively we are telling somebody about Krishna consciousness, or it can be any supporting activity also, which is also indirectly preaching only. So preaching does not mean always giving classes or telling somebody about Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada has told even sweeping the floor in the temple, that is also preaching. Pujari, he is also doing preaching. So there is no distinction between what service we do. All when they are connected with Krishna, ultimately they are helping the preaching movement. But as Grihasthas, we have to take care of our house as a temple of the Lord. Our house should be, we are not the owners. Krishna is the owner, and we are just serving Krishna in our houses. And we should keep our house very nice, clean, neat. And as soon as we enter, we should feel that atmosphere of spiritual atmosphere in our houses. So we should keep very neat and clean. And we should also do kirtan at home. And there may be some challenges if there is one person devotee, other family members are not devotees. So there may be sometimes those challenges may be there. But practically, based on our situation, we should try as much as possible to make our house ashrama. The Grihastha is also a ashrama. Ashrama means where it is meant for cultivating spiritual life. It is not an ordinary house. It is an ashrama where we are trying to cultivate spiritual life, and we should always do some temple services. So at house also we are doing, that is also service, because we are cleaning our house, we are doing deity worship, or we are doing the pictures of the Lord we are worshipping, and we are cooking, that is for Krishna, we are offering to Krishna, we are eating prasad, that is also service. So at house also whatever we are doing, that is also service. But that service, only we are the beneficiaries. Who gets benefited? We get benefited. But if you do service in the temple, then we also get benefited. Some new souls, they will also get benefited. So how we all became devotees? Because somebody stepped out of their house and he was doing some service. He or she, they were doing some service. Some kind of service, either book distribution or some preaching activity or some program coordination, whatever. So if all of us, if we sit at home and do our own sadhana, then there will be no future devotees. We became devotees because somebody was doing some service of which. That's how we came in touch with Krishna consciousness. So we should pass the thing what we have got. We should pass it to the next generation or current generation, our friends, neighbors, or new people who we meet. So by coming and doing service in the temple, we are also participating in the preaching mission. And suppose if I stay far, I cannot come, then I can try to preach in my own area. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, "Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Pradesh. Hamara Agneya Guru Hiya Tara A Desh." So A Desh means what? The place where you are living. The place where you are living, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered you deliver that place. To deliver the people of your area. So we should make plans how I can do preaching in my own area, in my own locality, how I can make devotees. So we are also from Krishnashram making some plans to open multiple preaching centers in different parts of Bangalore. Gradually, maybe within next 6 months or 1 year, it will take some shape where devotees will get opportunity to preach within their own locality. We should always keep this in mind. And also book distribution, that is the most dear service to Srila Prabhupada. So the easiest way, if you want to please Srila Prabhupada, is what? To distribute his books. The secret of pleasing Srila Prabhupada. You distribute his books, immediately you get recognized by Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. There are quotes also of Prabhupada that book distributions are immediately recognized by Krishna. Prabhupada also gives examples like soldiers going out in the war. They are recognized by the government and given reward. So this book distribution, we should always keep it in our heart and make an attempt to distribute books always. Regularly, we should be thinking of this. And we are also giving opportunity inside the temple where Saturday, Sunday can come and distribute books in the lecture hall. And always we have to meditate what I can do for distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. And also Sankirtan program also. At house we should do Sankirtana. What is the Yuga Dharma? Sankirtana. So we should not forget that. So every day at our homes we should do Sankirtana. Then there will be peace at home. Otherwise always there will be fighting. Sankirtana if you do regularly, family members sitting together, then we can practice Krishna consciousness peacefully at home. And not only at homes, we should also go out. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the Sankirtana movement, going outside and doing Sankirtana. So initially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtana, where he was doing Navadvip, Mayapur, but where? Srivas Thakur's house. Whole night they used to do Sankirtan. So he started the Sankirtan inside Srivas Thakur's house. But later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started going out everywhere. Everywhere he went and he was performing Sankirtan. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is Sankirtana movement. Yuga Dharma is also Sankirtan. So we should all make plans to do this Sankirtan. So we are already started this program of doing Sankirtans outside. We are doing as a Kirtan on special occasions. So we want to do it more frequent. Every week we want to do people going out and doing Sankirtan so that others also get chance to hear about Hare Krishna. So many people they don't go to temple. Uh, Nowadays, people are very busy, no time. So many people they will have never come to ISKCON in Bangalore. I think Bangalore population is 1 crore plus. So many would not have come to temple and visited the temple, had darshan. So we should give opportunity for everybody to hear the Hare Krishna. So this is from that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime of when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went for the South India tour. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Puri. After taking sannyas, he came there and 6 years of his later 24 years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived for 48 years. 24 years he was at Navadvip, and after 24 years he took sannyas and came to Jagannath Puri. And when he was there, the initial 6 years he traveled. So he traveled to South India. He went to Vrindavan. One time he had gone to Bengal going to Vrindavan, but midway he comes back after meeting Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. He comes back. Then later on he goes from Jharkhand forest to Vrindavan. On the way he goes to Prayag, Varanasi, then Mathura, then Vrindavan. Then again he comes back. So that is the 6 years of time where he was moving and preaching different people at different places. The later 18 years he spent in Jagannath Puri itself. And during these 6 years of time when he was traveling, so he traveled to South India and he would go village to village and make everybody devotee there, introduce chanting of this Hare Krishna mantra Sankirtana, and then move on to the next place. So he went up to Pandharpur, starting from the eastern coast of India, then again coming up to Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi, where the Rama Setu is there. And from there, he again travels on the western coast and goes up to Pandharpur. And from there, he returns to Jagannath. So while that travel, he stayed at one place called Kurma Kshetra. And there was a Brahmana named Kurma Brahmana. And he gets so attracted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to go along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, take sannyas and go along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, I will also come with you. So for him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives this instruction. And that is where that famous verse of Amar Agnaya Guruhaya Tare Desh Yare Devta Tare Kaho Krishna. That verse comes in that context. He has spoken to that Kurma Brahmana. And what instruction he has given to him is very, very important. And that applies to everybody. So there he says, when that Kurma Brahmana wanted to come along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, don't speak like that again. Better to remain at home and chant the holy name of Krishna always. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is not advisable in this age of Kali to leave one's family suddenly, for people are not trained as proper brahmacharis and grihasthas. So there is no training in the present age how to become a brahmachari, how to become a grihastha. If suddenly one person wants to, out of sentiment, he decides that I want to leave my home and go. So that is not advised. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised the Brahmana not to be too eager to give up family life. It would be better to remain within his family and try to become purified by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly under the direction of a spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that you remain at home with your family and try to become purified by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If this principle is followed by everyone, then there is no need to accept sannyas. So it is not mandatory that everybody has to take up sannyas. If somebody is regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then he can be purified, remaining at household life also. In the next verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises everyone to become an ideal householder by offenselessly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and teaching the same principle to everyone he meets. So two things are mentioned here. One is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and offenselessly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And also teaching the same principles to everyone he meets. So we should also try to preach to others this Krishna consciousness, chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So the next shloka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. This is the verse. Gyare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Krishna Upadesh is one is Bhagavad Gita, another is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Amar Agnaya Guru Riya Tare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told here everyone to deliver your place wherever you are living and you become Guru. Now, we will see the purpose also, what Prabhupada writes the purpose of this. Many people come and inquire whether they have to give up family life to join the society. But that is not our mission. So Srila Prabhupada's mission is not that we have to make everybody join the movement. That is not the mission of Srila Prabhupada. It clearly proposed. One can remain comfortably in his residence. We simply request everyone to chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If one is a little literate and can read Bhagavad Gita as it is and Srimad Bhagavatam, that is so much the better. So even if somebody is illiterate, that also doesn't matter. Simply by chanting, one can get perfection. But if one is educated and he can read and understand, then one should read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of. Okay, so continuation of the purport. Instead of living engrossed in material activities, people throughout the world should take advantage of this movement and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at home with their families. We should try to induce our family members also to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but that we have to do little patiently, with patience and with intelligence. Because it's not easy that everyone will take up Krishna consciousness immediately, especially family members. It will be very hard sometimes to convince our family members. So we should be patient while preaching to family members. They may take years, they may take decades. Oh, my sister, she started chanting recently, after 20 years. One round, she is chanting. So she was so angry when I joined temple. I did not speak almost for 4 years. So, but gradually, now the time has come where she is chanting one round. Recently, about a few months ago, she started chanting one round. So we have to be patient while preaching to family members. Somebody may take up very quickly. Especially mothers will take up very quickly. How many of you have experience? Everybody's mother, practically I think everybody's mother, no? When you tell them you have to chant with, they'll start. But other members, it is little difficult. So while preaching to family members, we should have patience and we should not expect that not only family members, anybody we preach, because everybody is at a different level in their journey of going back to Godhead. And everybody is at a different level. So maybe we are fortunate to understand and take it up so early, so quickly. But other people, they may not be ready immediately. Whatever we are giving them, suppose we have spoken to them about Krishna for some time, that is gone. That is gone into their heart. And one day it will fructify. So we should not be expecting quick results also when we are preaching. We should just do our duty. I have done my duty. Now it is Krishna's hands when this jiva is ready to take up Krishna consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further advised the Brahmana Kurma, if you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. So we are afraid that because we are in the middle of worldly people and worldly things, So our spiritual advancement may not be so fast and we may have a lot of obstructions. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told that if you follow these instructions of chanting and trying to preach as much as possible to whomever we meet and trying to avoid the offenses in the chanting. If you follow these things, then this materialistic life will not be an obstruction for our spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulative principles, we will again meet here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we will again meet. After that, he says, or rather, you will never lose my company. If you are following this, then I am always with you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has assured. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will always present with us if you are following his instructions of chanting, avoiding the offenses, and preaching to others. If you do this, you will always remain in the company of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this purport is very interesting because in the previous shloka we saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was told, all of you become Guru. Hamara Agnya Guru Hiya Tare Desh. And this is one of the things which other camp people, they take this so much. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only has ordered, all of you become Guru. Then why you are telling us we should not become Guru? So let's see what Prabhupada says. This purport. This is an opportunity for everyone. If one simply follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu under the guidance of his representative and chants the Hare Krishna mantra, teaching everyone as far as possible the same principle, the contamination of materialistic way of life will not even touch him. Same thing what we have discussed now. We ourselves chanting, trying to avoid the offenses and trying to teach others also. The same thing. Then the contamination of this materialistic way of life will not even touch. It does not matter whether one lives in a holy place like Vrindavan, Navadvip or Jagannath-puri or in the midst of European cities where the materialistic way of life is very prominent. Srila Prabhupada is also mentioning here in the purport because sometimes we may be feeling that I have to go and live in Vrindavan. This is a Bangalore city or so much of materialistic things are there here. So better to go and live in Puri or the Mayapur or Vrindavan. So if you are following these instructions of Prabhupada, then we will not be disturbed by this external material energy also. If the devotee follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lives in the company of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will always be with us, and wherever he lives, he converts that place into Vrindavan and Navadvip. We don't have to go and live in Vrindavan. We can make our home itself Vrindavan and live in the company of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if you are following his instructions, what he has told you. This means that materialism cannot touch him. This is the secret of success in advance for one advancing in Krishna consciousness. So what is the secret for us to advance? We have to chant offenselessly and also we have to preach. If you are doing this, then we will always be in company with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our place will become like Vrindavan, Navadvip, Jagannath. Okay. The point I was mentioning is there in this purport, not in the previous one. So the next shloka, at whoever's house Sri Chaitanya accepted his alms by taking prasad, he would convert the dwellers to his Sankirtanam. So wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed or accepted prasadam, everybody, he made them into a devotee, but for everybody, he gave this same instruction and advised them just as he advised the Brahmana named Urpan. So for everybody, he gave the same instruction. Wherever you are, you deliver this place and chant this Hare Krishna Mahaprabhu. But the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explained here very nicely. One who surrenders to him and is ready to follow him with heart and soul does not need to change his location. Nor is it necessary for one to change status. No need to change the status, no need to change the location. One may remain a householder, a medical practitioner, an engineer, or whatever, it doesn't matter. One only has to follow the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and instruct relatives and friends the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. One has to learn humility. This is very important. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, so much of stress he has given to humility. One of the 8 shlokas also, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has composed, Grihastha. What is that verse? Pranadavi Sunechena Taroravi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadhari. Only if we remain humble, then only we can chant nicely. Otherwise, our mind will be always agitated. Then we cannot peacefully chant our rounds. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told that one should take this verse and put it around his neck. Means it should be always with us. This shloka. And these 2 qualities are there here. One is humility, another is tolerance. Both are very important because we lack these 2 things also. We'll be intolerant and we will not be humble. So this is what we have to cultivate. Tolerance is very important, especially for a preacher. If you are preaching, we should have tolerance. We should be able to tolerate another person, maybe following, may not be following, or he's taking time. So we should be tolerant and we should have patience. We should also be humble. So here is the important point. One should not try to be an artificially advanced devotee thinking I am a first class devotee. So there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all of you become guru. There are 2 kinds of gurus. One is the Diksha Guru and another is the Shiksha Guru. For Shiksha Guru, what is the qualifications? To becoming a Shiksha Guru, what is the qualification? He has to be Uttam Adhikari, he has to be Kanishta Adhikari, he has to be Madhyam Adhikari. Anybody can preach. Even a Kanishta Adhikari, he can also preach. For becoming a Shiksha Guru, there is no qualification. He should just repeat what Krishna has told. So anybody can become a Shiksha Guru. But if one has to become a Diksha Guru, then there are a lot of qualifications are required. He must be a first class devotee, he must be Uttam Adhikari, then he must be ordered by his spiritual master. He should be expert in the Vedic literatures. There are so many criteria for one to become a Diksha Guru. But for becoming Shiksha Guru, it is not so difficult. Prabhupada also told that one small girl child called Saraswati of one of the devotees. But she is also Guru. Because whomever she used to meet, she used to simply tell, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada said she is Guru. So whether Prabhupada is meaning that now she can accept disciples. So that Guru is Shiksha Guru. And here also what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, Yare Dekho Tare Kano Krishna Upadesh. Upadesh means giving instructions. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking everybody to become a Shiksha Guru. That Prabhupada is clarifying in this purport. One should not try to become an artificially advanced devotee thinking, I am a first class devotee. This is the problem. Because if you start thinking that now I have advanced enough, I have become a first class devotee now I want to liberate others. I am liberated now. Now I want to liberate the whole world. Let me become a spiritual master. So one should not artificially think that he has become an advanced first class devotee. Such thinking should be avoided. One should not think like this, that I have become a very advanced first class devotee. It is best not to accept any disciples. The Prabhupada is clearly telling, don't accept any disciples. It is best not to accept any disciples. One has to become purified at home by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and preaching the principles enunciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one has to become purified and teach the principles of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what Mahaprabhu has taught. You also teach. That way you become a Guru. Thus one can become a spiritual master and be freed from the contamination of material life. So become a spiritual master without accepting disciples. What Prabhupada is saying here, you become a spiritual master without accepting disciples. So then what kind of spiritual master it is? It is a Shiksha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not asked everybody that all of you start accepting disciples. You give Krishna Upadesha, you give the teachings of Krishna and you yourself also follow. While on his tour, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent the night at a temple or on the roadside. Whenever he accepted food from a person, he would give him the same advice he gave the Brahmana named Purma. He adopted this process until he returned from his South Indian tour to Jagannath. Wherever we went, wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, he gave the same instruction to whomever he met, wherever he stayed. Some other quotation from other section. All the eatables were first cooked by the wife of Advaita Acharya. Then Srila Advaita Acharya personally offered everything to Lord Vishnu. But this is the ideal householder's life. The husband and wife live together, and the husband works very hard to secure paraphernalia for worshipping Lord Vishnu. Why the husband is working very hard? So that he can secure money. With that, he can buy paraphernalia for worshipping Lord Vishnu, not for personal sense gratification. The wife at home cooks a variety of foods for Lord Vishnu, and the husband offers it to the deity. After that, Arati is performed and the prasadam is distributed amongst family members and guests. According to the Vedic principles, there must always be a guest in the householder's house. This is also very important. We should always invite people to our home and feed them prasadam. And if possible, we should make them stay in our house for 1 week, so that they get introduced to Krishna consciousness. It works. You try it. You invite some relatives and make them stay at your house for 1 week. And naturally, we are following. We are getting up early. We are doing arati. We are offering food. Seeing us, they will also, if not fully, they will pick up something after going home. At least they will start chanting. And we should always have guests in our house. We should call people and give them prasadam. And we can also conduct these house programs at least once in a month. We should try to conduct programs in our house. Invite friends, relatives, neighbors, colleagues, and do kirtan, distribute prasadam. You will also feel so good. And they will also get benefited. Some of them, they will become Krishna consciousness slowly. In my childhood, I have actually seen my father receive not less than 4 guests every day. The Prabhupada is telling his father, every day at least 4 guests would come to his father's house. And in those days, my father's income was not very great. It is not that he was very, very rich and he had a lot of money income. Nonetheless, there was no difficulty in offering prasadam to at least 4 guests every day. Every day, minimum 4 people would come and eat in Prabhupada's father's house. Although a person may live with his wife and children happily in Krishna consciousness, he also observes the regulative principles followed in any temple. How we follow in the temple, same way we should also try to follow the standards at our home, keeping everything neat, clean, doing things on time as much as possible. We should try to follow these things. If there is no Krishna consciousness, the householder's abode is called a Grahameti's house. Grahameti means one who is living only for gratifying his senses. He is called a Grahameti. And Grihastha means one who is living for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Householders in Krishna consciousness are actually Grihasthas, that is, those living in the ashrama with their families and children. Sri Advaita Prabhu was an ideal Grihastha, and his house was the ideal Grihastha ashrama. Okay, so then that were some of the words. And because this is Kali Yuga, there will be a lot of chances of quarrel amongst family members. So we should live with the principle of mutual cooperation. A Krishna conscious marriage is not based on sense gratification, but rather mutual cooperation between husband and wife for making advancement in spiritual life. Both of them, the goal is same. The goal is to go back to the spiritual world. And for that, we should cooperate with each other so that both of us can make spiritual advancement. And also for raising Krishna conscious children. We should also make sure that we give good Krishna consciousness to our children. There are some letters which Prabhupada has written. Also, on this point of mutual cooperation, we should also value each other's contribution, especially husband and wife or family members if they are living together. We should value each other's contribution in our spiritual progress. Just like if wife is there, husband is working, and wife is taking care of the house, then the wife should value the husband's contribution, that because the husband is going earning, I don't have to think about money, and I can practice my spiritual life nicely. So that is the contribution by my husband for my spiritual advancement. Similarly, the husband should think, if the wife is taking care of the house, taking care of the children, taking care of the worship at home, uh, one should value the other partner's contributions, how the other person is contributing in my spiritual advancement. And we should also see the good qualities in the other person. You cannot expect 100%, no, the person will be according to my expectation. I may have some expectation, but the other person may not be meeting. Same way with the other person also. He may have some expectations with me, but I may not be meeting the expectation of the other person, and we should accept these facts and these are the realities. We cannot have 100%, whatever I expect will be coming from my partner or my family members, either kids, even kids also. Maybe thinking that no, children should be like this, children should be like that, but sometimes it may not be practical. So we should look at things realistically, practically, and value each other, and also value their contributions, how they are contributing for this one unit. Our family is a one unit. It is not that it's running only by me or running only by another person. All put together, this unit is running. And we should have a mutual respect, mutual cooperation, so that we can peacefully practice Krishna consciousness at home. Otherwise, always there will be quarrels and fighting. So that we should try to follow. Some letters are there. This is a letter to Mahatma, 1972. If you have taken a wife for Grihastha life, why you are neglecting? That is not Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada is telling one of his disciples that why you are neglecting your wife. Vaishnava means he is very much responsible. And if he is a householder, then he must be responsible. I cannot give sannyas to any devotee who has not proven himself to be responsible in all respects. Better you prove yourself first by being ideal householder and forget all this nonsense. Probably he was asking Prabhupada that you give me sannyas after getting married after a few days or a few months. So that was there. Westerners, if they see that no things are not going good, then immediately Prabhupada give me sannyas. So Prabhupada is chastising here. First of all, you show that you are a responsible Grihastha. I will not give sannyas to any devotee who has not proven himself to be responsible in all respect. Better you prove yourself first by being ideal householder and forget all this nonsense. Another letter. Yes, please offer my blessings to your good wife, Lakshmi Mani, and son, Nimal Chandra. Please make them ideal Krishna conscious family members. That will be a great example for our society. We will see many places Prabhupada wanted his disciples to be ideal householders and raise Krishna conscious children. So here also Prabhupada is telling that it will be a great example for our society. Another letter. Also, I am glad to note that you and your wife are cooperating so nicely in Krishna's service. So Prabhupada is appreciating the cooperation between husband and wife for progressing in Krishna's service. So you should set an ideal example of household life in Krishna consciousness for all to follow. In this way, continue your program there in Philadelphia, and Krishna will surely bless you. The cooperation is very important. Another letter, the picture in which your wife and child are engaged in preaching work. It is simply wonderful. You are ideal householder and you are teaching the world how to live with wife and children as a householder. My Guru Maharaj generally used to make a sannyasi from a householder. But I have created householders for preaching work. And your example is proving my attempt successful. So Gaudiya Math, from householders, they used to become sannyasis. But Prabhupada is telling, I have created householders for preaching work. And your example is proving my attempt successful. One more later, please set the example of our ideal householder life in Krishna consciousness. This will be very highly appreciated by all persons who will come in your contact, and you will also be benefited. So anybody who sees a Krishna conscious family like that, living happily, practicing spiritual life, they will all appreciate. You would have seen some of examples. Our friends, relatives, sometimes they come and see, so they appreciate how we are living, a different, altogether different life, different from how ordinary people live. So please see that you all stick to the regulative lines of our devotional practices and keep up the standard of purity as it has thus far been established in our progressive functions in Krishna consciousness. So these regulative principles, very important, and chanting of our rounds every day, this will keep us pure. Another letter to Ekayani. We want to open hundreds and thousands of centers in every town, village, neighborhood, and everywhere. And we want to show ideal householder life also. If one pair of nice Krishna conscious householders are there, so many people derive benefit out of their behavior. Prabhupada is mentioning that we want to open centers everywhere, every town, village, and neighborhood. And just one family can give benefit to all the neighbors. Another letter to Yamuna. I am very glad to learn that 3 girls from France are advancing nicely under your tutelage. Please continue to train them up to chant regularly and to always keep engaged in Krishna activities. As ideal householder girl, you are giving them the best example of Krishna conscious life. So one Mataji, so she is training some new girls who have come in touch with Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada is appreciating how she is training these new girls, and also appreciating being a householder, so how she is setting her own example and teaching others also. One more letter. Krishna will be very much pleased upon you and your wife, Krishna family. In our society, we want to see some ideal householders as you are, so that preaching may go on with great speed. From the very beginning of this movement, the associates of Lord Chaitanya were all householders. All 4 of the principal associates, namely Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Prabhu, Radha, and even Lord Chaitanya himself, they were all householders. The women who started, so they were all householders. Later on, some of them took sannyas, but they started this movement that time, so they were all householders. Another letter, according to Vedic system, all householders are ordered to keep deity at home and follow strictly the worshipment process. That makes the home pure, body pure, mind pure, and quickly promotes one to the pure platform of spiritual life. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that a householder are supposed to keep the deity at home. And by keeping the deity at home, then everything becomes pure. So our house becomes pure, our mind becomes pure, our body becomes pure, and quickly promotes one to pure platform. Prabhupada has also said in another place that if you are staying close to the temple, then better to focus on the deities in the temple. If you are staying far, you may keep the deities, but here in ISKCON temple, ISKCON, we have not encouraged so much keeping the deity at home. Some devotees, they are doing the services. But generally, we recommend them to keep the pictures of the deities and do the worship, because if you keep the deity, then you have to follow a lot of things. Sometimes it may not be practical to follow all the standards. So that's why here generally the recommendation is that we should keep the pictures of the Lord. There is no difference, deity and picture of the Lord. There is no difference. Same way we can worship the Lord in his picture also. In India, in every town, in every village, in every neighborhood, still there are Vishnu temples for the convenience of the surrounding householders. So I'm pleased that you are ideal householder and you are doing very nicely combined together, husband and wife. Please do it as you are doing. Gradually, Krishna will give you all facility. Another letter. So whether you are alone or with your husband, you must continue to follow the regulatory principles. Why there should be any misunderstanding between a Krishna conscious husband and wife? This is not good. Prabhupada is telling that there should not be misunderstanding between a Krishna conscious husband and wife. We should live peacefully and practice Krishna consciousness. Another letter. Married life does not mean that there will be no disagreement between husband and wife. That is a custom from time immemorial. So from time immemorial it is going on. That there will be disagreement between husband and wife. According to Vedic system, disagreement or quarrel between husband and wife should never be taken very seriously. You will just forget it. There is a fight or something, just forget next day again normal. If you keep it inside, it will go on. Therefore, in India, there is nothing called divorce. There is sannyas. There is no divorce. So in the Western world, because here the goal is going back to Godhead. When that is the goal, so people don't take these things seriously and they adjust and they move on. But in the Western world, the purpose of man and woman coming together is for sense gratification. As soon as there is some disturbance in their sense gratification, immediately there will be divorce. So it is, one should not take very seriously the disagreement between husband and wife. Another letter. You are an intelligent girl and an advanced student. You should know that our main business is Krishna consciousness. So fighting between husband and wife is not to be taken very seriously. So if you have any respect for me, I request you not to quarrel with your husband. Live peacefully, chant Hare Krishna, and try to serve the cause as best as possible. I'm very glad that your mother is also taking interest in Krishna consciousness. That is very good. As you have to leave Boston very soon, it is better that you go immediately to New York and live peacefully with your husband. That is my order. I hope you will not disobey me. This looks like somebody, some Mataji has fought with the husband and left and gone somewhere and written a letter to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is telling that our main business is Krishna consciousness. The fighting between husband and wife is not to be taken very seriously. And Prabhupada is requesting also, if you have any respect for me, then don't quarrel with your husband, live peacefully, chant Hare Krishna, and try to serve the cause as best as possible. And her mother is taking Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada is telling that is very good. And now we have to leave Boston, better we go back to New York and live peacefully with your husband. Okay, these were some of the quotations and some references from Srila Prabhupada's books and teachings. If there are any questions, we can take up the questions. After that, we have a break of snacks. After that, we have one more topic. We'll take up the next topic. Anybody has got any questions? Yes. I did not, I heard it for the first time. It was a topic for me. And the Prabhupada has told, please, Prabhupada has told, the 50% chance gets reduced to this. But many other places, Prabhupada also assured, if you are following his instruction, regulatory principles, chanting, everybody can go back to God. Because there is a lot of opportunity for sense gratification, one may get lost. So that risk is there. So we have to be more alert. Prabhupada is also told one more place, husband, wife, double strength. Prabhupada is told that also. So we have to take those things in a context. And also we should be cautious. These are all warnings. All warnings. If you are not careful, then our chances of going back to God reduce by 50%. And whatever husband does, I think 50% goes to the wife, something like that. I have not come across those code, but I have heard whatever husband does, 50% goes to the wife. And this is very motivating that husband and wife is double strength. What I could do alone, I can do double of that if husband and wife are nicely cooperating. And that is possible also. If both husband and wife are nicely cooperating, they can do more service, they can advance more fast. If they keep fighting, quarreling, it will become 50%.
Settle down and then adjust with each other and then focus more on that in initial stage probably. But then I think like what I have seen, being in level regularly, is that like, especially the Brahmacharya temple, so their focus, they will try to like, under the guidance of the senior devotees, their focus is to serve more towards the Krishna consciousness mission than focusing on their individual life, like personal life. So is that how Prabhupada has told us to give a
See, during Prabhupada's time, after marriage, husband is somewhere serving, wife is somewhere serving. Somebody is in some city, some town, some temple, mother is serving somewhere, husband is somewhere serving. So that time, everybody was a missionary. During Prabhupada's time, everybody was a missionary without any difference in gender, whether they are male or female. Everybody was a missionary. Everybody was into some or the other service. But here in India, the system and culture is little different. So sometimes the wives, they may not be full-time engaged in the missionary activities. So that is there. And also one more thing is devotees learn by experience, because initially the expectations will be different, and that's why the disagreements will come. And by experience, they learn because they know what is the goal, what purpose I am here. So gradually the expectations will reduce. How much to expect from my husband or how much to expect from my wife, that will reduce. Then automatically things will settle and maturity will come. So it's a matter of time to know each other and understand, then cooperate. And those who are living outside, just like your question was about the temple devotees and why they give more time to service and less time to family. So that is in case specifically of temple devotees. But temple also has made many things so that they also take care of the family. There are a lot of other systems also in the temple for the grihasthas. A lot of nice systems have been built in the temple, especially for the married devotees, those who are preaching. The temple takes care of the householders very nice. And this also has evolved over time.
consciousness has to be changed for the
Ah. Yeah, one is that individual consciousness of the person, and also as a management, what kind of things to be given for the grihasthas, what kind of support to be given. That also has evolved over a period of time. In the last 25 years, that is also evolved, and it will again evolve. Things will keep improving based on different things that have happened, learnings will be there, and then it will evolve. So that way, they have got one good support system. And those who are congregation devotees, they should also, under the guidance of temple authorities, they should practice their spiritual life. And they have to become mature. That is what is required. And cooperation, mutual respect, and understanding their contributions, that is very important. You should not think that only because of me everything is going on another person. Okay. That should not be. We should value each other's contributions. Shikha, if you want, you can keep. You can. It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory to keep Shikha. Somebody wants to keep, they can keep. Generally, the Shikha is kept by Brahmanas. Traditionally also, Brahmanas keep the Shikha, shave their head. The Grihastha, the Vaishyas and Kshatriyas or Shudras, they don't keep Shikha. Here also in temple also, if somebody is keeping Shikha also, we tell them not to shave their head, like temple devotees. They can keep short hair, but not fully shave like temple devotee and keep Shikha. So that is generally. It is not a published rule, but if you see somebody, somebody comes and sees that, oh, I also need to become like that. and they shave their head and keep a shikha. Generally, some devotee will catch him and tell, keep short hair, don't do full head shave. There has to be some distinction between who is a temple devotee, who is a missionary, who is a congregation devotee. Some distinction, even when people are seeing also, they should be able to identify who are the devotees who are practicing from outside. These are some of the things like management kind of thing. This is not related to philosophy or something. So to things, keep the things smooth. So some rules we can use. No, Prabhupada has told in the purport. It is best not to accept any disciples, not many disciples. Oh, that many disciples, another this in the Shastra it is said one should not accept many disciples. Yes, yes. So that Prabhupada has told, no, for preaching only, although there is an injunction that one should not accept many disciples, for the purpose of preaching only, the spiritual master, Prabhupada accepted many disciples, and for them it is like they are taking the risk, because unless the disciple gets delivered, the guru is supposed to live in the material world. So it is their risk what they are taking out of compassion for the other living entities. Otherwise, they are not obliged to accept disciples. Yes.
So you say the quarrel and disagreements are customary time, but we don't see in the Shastras a lot of quarrels and disagreement being judgmental. Whereas in day-to-day life, definitely there will be these state. So if you can give some references from the Shastras, then
Where there are fights between husband and wife.
where we could derive some practical tips out.
Okay, I'll have to go through, find some example like that. There are fights. We can see Prabhupada's teachings, that is also Shastra. Prabhupada's letters, Prabhupada's books, everything is a Shastra. Here Prabhupada is giving, somebody is fighting, and Prabhupada is giving guidelines what to follow. So that way, in the practical life, what has happened, Prabhupada's each word is like Shastra. Whatever Prabhupada has told, like Shastra. Sometimes it may be, in the context, it may apply to somebody, it may not apply to somebody. But in that context, for that person, it is like Shastra only. For this person, this is like Shastra, what Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. It is all Shastra only. If you have to see some other Puranas or something where somebody has quarreled or something, I'll have to do some research. If anybody remembers anything is there, they can tell.
Can share some tips how shall we deal with that situation?
Don't be reactive. Generally, we react. Generally, we react. And one person should be little calm. If both of you start reacting, then it will go. Somebody has to, at that moment at least, you become little calm. And if required, for some time, you can just be calm. No need to interact. No need to speak. You just focus on your work. Let the other person focus on their work. Then when that moment will be there, when it is now gone, peak, then slowly they will also start reflecting. The other person also will start reflecting. We should also reflect. We should say, was there any fault from my side? We should always think that maybe mistake is from my side, not that always looking for the fault in the other person. There may be genuinely other person may be wrong, but from the other person's perspective, that person may be thinking that that person is right, and it may be true also from the other person's perspective. So that's what we have to give time. We have to give time, and we have to speak. We have to speak and understand, and don't keep it too much inside. And if you practice, not doing everyday kirtan, everyday reading books together, then there will be nice bond also. And so that our goal is always, we know for what purpose we are married and what is the goal of life. That will always be there. And as per our time, karma, then so many waves will keep coming in our life. Ups and downs will be there. So we should also know that such things are going to happen. And we should learn from our day-to-day activities, what are happening, something happened in the past. So over a period of time only that maturity will come. Second initiation, yes, these discussions are going on for a long time. So at GBC level, these discussions are going on. And some rules have been made that whom we can give initiation, what are their, what they are supposed to follow. So some discussions are there. It may happen sometime in the near future, or it may take some time also. Currently, no, but in some temples, they have been given initiation where they are doing pujari service. Some temples, they have taken some congregation devotees for pujari services or cooking services. That requires second initiation. Whether deities are there, if deities are there, it requires second initiation. So in such cases, like Ahmedabad temple or I think maybe Vrindavan also one or two devotees, they have given initiation for specifically for those service related devotees. In general, it is not given so far, but discussions are there. Many times these things have been discussed, but no policy has been made about. And Prabhupada has told that Hare Krishna mantra itself is sufficient in itself to take you back to God. In teachings of Lord Chaitanya, there is one chapter somewhere you can see that. But after second initiation, you get some more Gayatri mantras. So Prabhupada has told that Hare Krishna Maha Mantra itself is sufficient to take us back to the spiritual. Just like say Haridas Thakur, I don't think he was second initiation. He was chanting 11 names and he was Namacharya. He is the standard for. Okay, so we will take a break. Some snacks are there, walk and take snacks. And again, we will start at 5, maybe 5 to 6. We'll take another session. Srila Prabhupada ki